88.1 XFM Tauranga's Hit Music Station, also another sponsored episode of Mike Time with Marty, sponsored by Mike Time with Marty, now available on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. I have a good friend of mine who most of our Te Reo will know on TikTok, so say hello to the one, the only Mahina, also known as Agent Fruits.
Tēnā koutou kia ora. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. Now, this morning, you were currently in a class. Tell us about it.
Well, for the past just over 3 months in Kaikohe Taitokero in the Far North, there has been a really good initiative for our northern weavers, even those who are just beginning their weaving journey, traditional art form. And it's just really good to see our nannies, different age groups, different weaving levels, come together and spend their Tuesday immersed in our culture.
So, I also saw that you did an interview with one of the fires. How did that go?
Oh, that was, well, it's interesting when you're on the other side of the camera because she is a very avid supporter of Ngā Whenua Tawhito Ancient Threads. She's pretty much in nearly every live, but to now be in front of the camera and with a microphone, I could tell was very daunting for her. But I think it's just really important for people to see a lived-in experience of what it's like to be not only a teacher, but a weaver outside of myself.
Cool. So, how did Ancient Threads come about?
Great question. So, 2.5 years ago now, I was just a teacher. I had my own acreage space with a beautiful home on it. It had two rooms, a kitchen room, dining room, and a bathroom shower space. So it was just this little granny flat style home on an acreage in the middle of nowhere. And that was my classroom. The biggest room I used for beginners, and the secondary room was used for those who were more advanced in regards to learning kawatikanga Māori and Reo Māori, the indigenous language of Aotearoa, New Zealand. And I was just a teacher, so I've been in spaces of akoranga Māori, kohanga reo kura kaupapa whare wānanga kura reo for the past 20 years. And that was my life. I just educated and shared spaces and did that. And that was lovely. It was good. Then thank you to two very go-getter, business enthusiastic wahine Māori, Awatere Linnea Brookings, as well as Shanti Marie Pine. These two wahine really pushed me to get into a space of being more social media content based, more online. And one of my tauira, who was 14 at the time, really was trying to make me understand how important Māori education could be online and that I should have a look at TikTok. So I jumped online and I noticed someone speaking about my particular hapu, my particular iwi, my clan, my mob. And they were telling all these stories about my people. And at first I was like, wow, how inspiring. And then they said, well, actually, I got all this information from Google. And I thought, I don't know how I feel about someone who's not from my region, not from the blood that I'm from, so to say, speaking about matters that they don't actually know about. And being as versed as I am within these stories, it wasn't adding up. And so I thought, wow, I can either get on there and do what most people do, which is saying, get the here, that's incorrect. Or I can make a space that has another story to tell. And so I did. Created a Ngā Whenua Tawhito, traditional name, English name, Ancient Threads, and now have been active for the past 2.5 years with a following of 140,000 across Instagram and TikTok predominantly.
Did you ever think that it was going to grow? Because I've been in your lives almost every night that you go on, whether it's your quick-witted when it comes to the occasional troll, or when you are just doing your normal everyday thing and you see people that are so immersed in what you're doing. Did you ever think it was going to be this big?
Not gonna lie, I'm very well known in the Māori world. So in our cultural space, in our cultural world, I'm a very well respected kaiako Māori, puako Māori, meaning I'm a very well known educator. And I feel it's because of the style of education. So I use what would most people refer to as mythology to educate. So for me, I use pūrākau Māori, kōrero Māori, and I use our traditional storytelling methodologies to tell people that what would deem a fantasy for other cultures is actually a reality for us. We know these people. We can actually create a path of genealogy back to these people who actually were real. So it may seem like a fairy tale, but in reality, it's live and wow. And that is my method of education. I will refer to old practices and older times to let people know if they can do it then, we can do it now. We can thrive, we can survive. Did I think that I would be this popular i te ao hurihuri in this ever-changing world? No. No. I feel that honestly, the more I think about it, I feel like I hit a really special spot. I hit the right, it was divine timing. It was a mixture of, sugar, spice, and everything nice, and a little bit of chemical X. I just feel like a mixture of my humor, my wit. I'm very fast, and I'm very shady. I try to tell people from the get go that I have very dry humor, so everything seems like it's a joke sometimes, mixed with a little bit of morbid fascination and tons of sexual innuendo, because I like to see how people tick. If you show me that you're going to crack, I'm going to keep picking at it. That's just my way. And then when I figure out what's going on here, we're going to break it down and rebuild.
Nice. Well, you did mention that you were quick on your feet. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself?
Not that fast. No. So I'll wait for everything to change around me and be like, told you it was going to happen. I feel that I'm just very witty. I'm really good at absorbing things. Plus, I really love silence. I feel like that's the major difference, is most people don't. They fear silence. When the room drops and there's nothing to talk about, most people find it very intimidating. Personally, I lean into it and I find it very empowering. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to put that to the test. I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions. You just got to answer them as quickly as you possibly can. All right. Sunset or sunrise?
Sunset.
Coke or Sprite?
Neither.
Neither. Okay. What's our drink of choice?
Water.
Okay. Sweet or sour?
Sweet. Deadly sweet.
Okay. What's a TV show we're currently binging at the moment?
Don't watch TV, but if I could have an endless supply of this specific show, Gilmore Girls.
Okay. I see you. Celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush. Ugh. If I had to choose one, I think her name is Kina Racing Horse. She's a beautiful indigenous model for Vogue. Yeah. Supporting our own.
Okay. Favorite food?
Anything Japanese.
Okay. So you're into like the whole nigiri, sushi, bento box type of stuff?
I'm actually part Asian, so I don't share that much with people.
Okay. What is a fashion trend you wish would come back?
To come back. Oh, leather. Anything leather. But I know that we're about that pleather life now and don't hurt the animals. I get it. But my grandfather used to wear a leather jacket and he would get 3 cleaned once a year and they would last him all year round.
Okay, what's our choice of music like?
It's very eclectic. So I'm a good lover of classical, but if there was one particular band that was a soundtrack of my life as well as my family, it would be Fleetwood Mac.
Okay, I love that. If you could have a dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay. Are you a Marvel or DC?
I'll go Marvel. I'm not sure about DC.
Yeah, not sure about DC. Favorite Marvel character?
Oh, crushing of the world. I'm gonna have to say Scarlet Witch.
Okay. And final question, that happens to be apparently the most difficult question according to the guests that have been on my show. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Opening a whare. So currently I'm on a 5-year plan. Year 1 is traveling, collecting resources. Year 2 is going back to the same locations traveled to prior in the year before to share space and open up wānanga traditional classes for all to attend. Years 3, 4, and 5 is to open up a school or an institute very much like a Māori Hogwarts, specializing in art forms, traditional, as well as traditional medicine.
Right, okay. Now, where do you see yourself and Ancient Threads going? Like, obviously, you said you wanted to open up a school and things like that, but do you see yourself going to, like, overseas?
I would love to if I had overseas money. At the moment, most people are aware of, I think, to a degree. At the moment, I'm currently traveling to one marae a week, 52 marae in total from the North Island all the way down to the south. Just previously, I've had my 18th marae and I decided to self-fund this. So as of December 2024, I raised $25,000 and then invested that to traveling on the road, gathering resources for our future generations. So that's my current role at the moment, is traveling. And it's been a beautiful trip, but also at the same time, it's been a very complicated one. One thing I'm finding with a lot of our kaumatua, our elders within community spaces, is if you do not have the language, they don't want to talk to you. Thankfully, I'm fluent. They also are very stuck in old traditions. So if you kind of lean into something that's a little bit uncommon for them, it makes them afraid. So trying to navigate that has been very, very interesting. For the future of Ngā Whenua Tawhito and Ancient Threads, I would really like to keep going where we are. I made a promise about a year ago, because it's 2.5 years now. I made a promise about a year ago that I wanted to focus more on quality, not quantity. The first year was about getting to 100,000. The second year was about getting comfortable with that. And this third year is about quality. I feel like people can come and go, but I'm one of the most well-known faces of Māori TikTok for the reason that I go live 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, or night, no nudity, no trends, no dancing. So I feel like I've kind of kept my composure, but at the same time, I feel like my humor is its own thing. So for the future of Ancient Threads, quality, quality.
Okay. So, how would you explain Ancient Threads to someone that's first stumbled upon it?
As I do with my little spiel, but in short, it's a space of connection. It's a place where you can be whoever you want to be and ask whatever question you want to ask. Just be prepared for the answer. I'm game. I'm ready to roll. You can ask me anything, but you may not like my answer. So when I've come across people who ask such things as, who are you and what do you do? Sometimes I'll say an astronaut, and I'm currently in my rocket ship. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of a play. If you can use your eyes, it's obviously a car. I'm a brown face with indigenous markings. Maybe we should start there. So I would probably say to read the room. Come on in, read the room, get to know us. If you spend at least a minute here at Ancient Thread, you'll get to know us long enough to know how much you love us. Yeah.
So, do you mind if we have a little bit of a kōrero about your Indigenous markings? Because I know there's some people out there that don't know what exactly they are. So, can you give us a little insight on what exactly your markings are?
Kapai. So I have multiple markings all over my body. My first one was at 11. Yes, 1-1. I think I was the only one at the time, being as young as I was, to have traditional markings known as moko. So moko sit within a space of heritage and history. They sit within a space of connection and respect. Our markings are an identifying key factor of who we are as a generation. The last within my line was 15 generations back. She wore a moko kauai, which was a marking on her chin, and it was actually green ink at the time for her. I'm the first of my line ever to wear mokukaru. What that is the marking is between my eyebrows and hits the top of my hairline. This space is a very sacred spiritual space. It acknowledges the connection between myself and the ancestors, as in a direct phone line, ring ring, hello. And everything that I do as regards to Mātauranga Māori ancestral knowledge and either keeping it, sharing it, or teaching it. My particular mokokaru, my third eye marking, my rai, my mata, there are many different kupu dialectual words that cover the space of my marking. It just lets you know that I'm well educated and that I'm very well versed within Māori ritual, Māori spirituality, as well as Māori topics of discussion. So yeah, my personal one, it does have a name. I don't think I've ever shared that name online, so I probably won't do that now. But each of our markings can have names, and they are traditionally connected to us through our blood, through our heritage and our histories, our ancestors, etc.
Okay. So, obviously being Te Reo Māori, you have to go through the strifes, like currently with our politics and also with the march that has been going on as well. How do you deal with all the negative stuff to make them positives?
I put the work in. I put the work in. So I raised over $4,000 last year prior to November, travelled back to Aotearoa, and I actually did the Hikoi Mo Te Tiriti from the start up in Te Reo Wairua, where I'm from, all the way down to Porneke. I was one of 12 cars, and I carried the kaupapa down, and my role was to look after our reo karanga, our kaikaranga, at the front of the line. So the elder women that were calling, respecting the land, the spaces, the places, the spirits, it was my role to look after them. So I actually carried that role all the way down and have continued to look after them and look into them. Even now, I was just with one about a week ago. She had come down to Rotorua. I was just recently at the Huiato Māori Nurses Symposium as a keynote speaker, and she had been invited down too. So it was really good to connect with those women. I'm very active about my participation with my people. Instead of talking about it, I get into it. As an educator, that's the best thing I can do is turn up to class, fill those seats and fill those minds with beautiful, delicious knowledge. And only if you want to. I'll learn at your pace. So if you don't want to talk about it today because you've had a hard week or had a hard weekend, sweet as, but at least we rocked up, we turned up, we were present about it. But I like to activate in a very physical way. I will fundraise. I'll get on the road. I'll share in space. I'm just so grateful.
Perfect. So for anyone that's wondering, I'm currently doing an interview with Mahina, also known as Agent Threads. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section, and we will try and get them as much as we can. Now, I tested your quick wit and trying to think on your feet. Now is your time for redemption. You get to ask me some quick fire questions. You can be as difficult as you want.
Favorite color?
Red.
Favorite place?
Home, Hawke's Bay.
What's the first thing you do when you get in the car?
Put my seatbelt on because I'm a passenger princess.
Do you scrunch or do you fold the toilet paper?
I fold.
How do you wash your body? From top to bottom or bottom to top?
Top to bottom.
PDA, how do you feel about it?
I mean, depending on what it is, yes. Depending on what it is, no.
McDonald's, KFC, or Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut.
Black, white, or red?
Black.
Why black?
So a lot of people see black as a shade. I see it as a color. It is also a feeling as well. Like people, like the entire rainbow is a bunch of feelings, and obviously black, sadness, depression, things like that. So black, red, they kind of fall in the same. And also they're the two colors of my favorite superhero, Deadpool.
Next place you'd like to travel to, free of charge.
Oh, Mexico.
Day or night?
Night.
Rain or no rain?
No rain.
If you could wear anything to bed, what would it be?
An oversized hoodie and my grey sweats.
And last but not least, when it comes to you, how comfortable are you in releasing secrets?
I mean, I am an open book when it comes to certain things. If there is things about, like, past family and things like that, I'll be a little bit hesitant. But if someone wants to know, like, about my discoveries and my journeys regarding my sexuality and things like that, I'm more than happy to open up about it.
I appreciate you. You did really well. I love quick fire questions.
Why? They're so fun, especially when I do them and some of them are just like, ah, crap, I don't know, help. So much fun. All right, so what are we doing for the rest of the day after this interview?
So I've just finished class. I was actually supposed to go do a harvest because I have a few different weaving engagements coming up this week and this weekend.
Hmm.
Currently trying to fundraise for a van and just got a possible contact for a van. So I'm just trying to get in contact with this particular individual and see if they're free so I can head down there. It's about an hour and a half drive from me.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of where I am right now in life in general, is trying to upgrade to a van to continue this journey on. I've got a lot of stuff that I've gathered over the past 6, 7 months traveling, and it just doesn't fit in a car anymore. So my everything is about than this, fundraising, that double check stuff, keep everything active and open. Also, in regards to ngā whenua ancient threads, I think a lot of people operate their social media as like a way of expressing themselves. I think a lot of people forget that we operate it like a business. So I actually do work quite hard behind the scenes, posts, content, recognitions, events, and locking some in and turning some down. So it's a full grown space. And I've got to do a lot of that tonight. Plus, I actually run classes, independent classes. So I've got class tonight that I'm getting ready for my students. How about yourself?
Well, I work a 9 to 5, so I've got work on Thursday through till Saturday. It is pretty much going to be like you, content. I've got the TikTok, I've got the interviews, I've got my second YouTube channel, so I've been doing all that. I've also got to maintain my garden because my property manager's on my butt about it, so yay. And then I might go for a run later tonight just to, let some steam out, sweat, and then go to sleep.
Mm,
Yeah.
I feel you.
Alright, so if anyone has any questions for Mahina or myself, please do not be afraid to ask. Let's see what else. In terms of ancient threads as a community, obviously you've got yourself and you've got all your other kaupapa and all your other whanau that is helping out. Um, what's gonna happen next? Like, do you see the next generation continuing on ancient threads, or is this gonna be something that you want to keep as your child forever?
Well, I don't think a lot of people actually know, but Ancient Threads is backed by three faces. I'm just the most common face you'll see here. So you've got myself, Mahina, then you've got my daughter. I've got a 24-year-old daughter. Her name is Christina, and then I've got a 22-year-old boy, and their name is EDAJ. So the three of us actually run and operate our space. So my two kids, my adult children, are over in Australia running and operating their own version of Ancient Threads. So they run classes, yep, and educate people over there about traditional art forms. They work through customs and traditions as well as the languages and the techniques to get down and master the craft. So we already run a very tight ship in Australia and New Zealand quite actively. A lot of people just don't know about that. They just see my face on TikTok and they assume I'm the only face. But if you follow the Instagram, our Instagram content is actually a little bit different to our TikTok. TikTok is more live and video based, whereas Instagram is more in the moment, present pace. So you'll see a lot of stories that tell you where we are, what we're doing, where we're going. And then you'll actually see the classes that are being run over in Australia. So we have a lot going as a family and generationally, be it my generation to my children's generation. And then they also have my mokopuna, so my grandbaby puts in a lot of work as well. Our official, unofficial mascot, and her name is hashtag baby threads. And people have pretty much been along baby's journey because she's 3 now. And we've been on TikTok for 2.5 months. So she's pretty much grown up as our official, unofficial mascot. But like I said, for the direction of Ancient Threads, I just want it to be about quality. I meet so many people on the streets who know who we are, who know what we do. Just recently, for the past 11 weeks on Monday, I took over the TikTok Live Australia New Zealand channel. And I had Mondays with Mahina at 8 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time. So that was 11 weeks in a row. There was consistent culture, conversation, language, customs, traditional weaving. And that was a good bout of 11 weeks straight of seeing Indigenous art forms and Indigenous language. And I know that there are others out there, but no one had actually taken to the major platform of TikTok Australia and New Zealand for 11 weeks straight. I'm the first of that kind to really get in there and be very truthful and very honest and very real with what you're seeing in a public space.
So what's different about Ancient Threads to some of the other Indigenous Māori creators that I've seen on here? Like I've seen a guy that does magic and he kind of incorporates it into his beliefs. I've seen other creators with like Indigenous instruments trying to tell people stories about their kaupapa and everything else. What's different about Ancient Threads to everyone else?
I think the one good thing about us is we haven't changed up. We're still who we are, and we're still who we've been for the past 2.5 years. We've come on here, and a lot of people are quite surprised to get exactly this in real life. We've done fashion shows, art galleries, photo shoots, festivals, markets. We just did a conference. We're very present in the community, even more so outside of being present in your lounge room, hiding in the garage, sitting on your phone. Like, though we're there with you too, we're actually very present with our community. We get out there and we do the work. I would say that the major difference between Ngāwhanu Tawhito and others who are out there is me. Nobody can do it like you do it. No one can be who you are. Like, you are the one, the only one who will ever exist in this world. And I feel that tuito mana tuito kōrero, when you stand in your power, you know who you are and you know where you're going. It can never be replicated, no matter what. It's authentic, it's original, but it's all connected to you, mai te toto, from the blood.
Right. So you asked your beautiful fire in your live this morning for a piece of advice. What is your piece of advice to everyone?
Oh, gosh. My piece of advice for the day is try even though you're dying. Like, times are tough. Times are so tough. And just keep trying no matter what. Like, I've had a very rough 24 hours. I could have let that break me. And I'm very lucky to have a very strong backbone and a strong team behind me. But the show goes on. Like, the show goes on. And yeah, just try, even if it's tough. Try.
Okay. Well, we're going to play our last game. This is what I like to call third time's the charm. So I'm going to give you a topic and you just got to name three of them.
How does that work?
So I'm going to give you a topic, let's say colours, and you just got to name three colours, you know?
Okay.
So name three types of chocolate.
Hazelnut, almond, gooey caramel.
Okay. Name three of your favourite movies.
Oh, Memoirs of a Geisha, Babysitting Blues, and I'm gonna go with Scream.
Ooh, okay. Alright. Let's see. Name three of your favourite places in Aotearoa.
Taitokero, the far north. Just recently, Te Aroa. I've actually fallen in love with Te Aroa. And I'm gonna say West Auckland. Not Tamaki Central, but West Auckland. The black sand beaches are like premium.
What three things would you tell someone to be careful of when they come to Aotearoa in New Zealand for the first time?
Food prices, cook at home. Gas prices, plan your trip. And last but not least, stay on the path. Even if the river looks so beautiful and it's bubbling and it's stunning, don't touch it. Because that is someone's, like, it's sacred. It actually says sacred, don't touch, so don't touch. Stay on the path. Look from a distance. Even if you see like someone waving from the trees, don't go there. Stay on the path.
Okay. Name three people that you would love to be part of an event, whether they be creators, celebrities, or just whanau.
Oh, three people that I'd like to be a part of the event. I'm gonna say anyone on my queer because they're dry as hell and they're hilarious. That's my first guest. My second guest would have to be, I'm just going to say it, Fire Linda Munn. If you don't know Fire Linda Munn, she is one of the creators behind the Tino Rangatira flag. I just spent the past week with her and did the Hikoi Mo Te Tiriti with her. She refers to me as little sister. Um, she is so witty, so direct, and if you can't handle Fire Linda Munn as a dinner guest, as a house guest, you can't handle me. So I'm going to say Fire Linda Munn. And last but not least, I need some entertainment. I need someone performing for me. So I'm going to say Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks can come to my dinner party. I think she'd be really good company. And I'd like to confirm whether or not she is a white witch or a black witch.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Name three dishes, like three foods that we have here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, that you would love to take overseas.
Oh, I can't say raw fish because they already have ceviche. So I'm gonna say Afghans because Afghans do not get enough recognition. A good Afghan can change your life. So Afghans. Second, I'm gonna say takako. I want to say rewana, but we already have a sourdough. So I'm gonna say takako, which is pretty much the most simple campfire damper. Damper goes a long way. Damper and just really good. And then the last one, I'm gonna say, look, it's an art form here in Aotearoa, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Stuffing. Stuffing is amazing. It's got to have lots of butter, lots of spices, and when you tell me that you stick your stuffing inside of a chicken, I'm going to tell you to stick it in a sack. Amen.
All right. When you're cooking, what are your three favorite seasonings to use?
Oh, salt, pepper, definitely, number ones. And if I have to choose another spice, it's going to be paprika. It has to be paprika. Love that good woody, earthy, spicy, burnt, like the charcoaly taste. Yeah.
Okay. And final one. Did you have any other names for ancient threads, or did you just decide to call it ancient threads?
No, no other names. No other names. There's been a mockery before. We've actually decided that when people can't handle ancient threads, so we say to people, if you can't handle ngā whenua tawhito, if you can't handle ancient threads, there's actually another account that you can follow. It's called Modern Wool. There is no modern wool. But it's because for us, the concept of ancient threads is the fact that the practice is ancient no matter the thread. You may be that ancient thread for your whanau. You may be the one that practices one specific thing that your family no longer does, and that is the ancient thread.
All right. Well, again, Mahina, here's your chance for redemption. You get to ask me anything. If there's anything that you want to know about me, you can ask me to name three or something or whatever. Go ahead.
I'm ready, I'm ready. 1, are you single?
Yes.
2, are you tall?
I was, but apparently I've shrunk according to my doctor.
Okay, why did you shrink?
I don't know. Mother Nature.
Do you moisturize?
Yes.
Do you hydrate? And how many liters a day?
So I mainly drink Sprite, which I know is not healthy, but at least I have maybe 3 cups of water a day.
That's good to know. Sunscreen, do you use that?
Yes, I'm what we like to be known as Caucasian, so, of course.
All right, all right. If you had to choose between a motorbike, a scooter, or a car, what would you drive?
I would drive a scooter and not leave it outside the dairy.
Okay. If we were to hold a mirror up on one half of your body, do you feel that your body is symmetrical?
No.
All right. And last but not least, because I love a good one, we're going to go deep for this one. In regards to past connections, relationships, or investments, what do you feel you could have done to either make things suitable or make things unsuitable?
Make things suitable would be more communication. So if something is going on, I am a person that likes to hold on to my feelings and bottle them up, which I know again is not healthy, but it is what I've always done. And I'm slowly working on it. So communicating, if I'm struggling, open up, let someone know, and be a little bit selfish, like be a little bit selfless. Like if I am needing time alone, or if I am just wanting to say, hey, back up, let me have some time, let me take a breather, do it. I'm not a people pleaser, I'm not a superhero, I can't do everything, and I need to focus on myself for a little bit.
Right. And I'll just ask another one for shits and giggles. What was your last new experience?
What's an experience? Whew. I started a new position at work, and I did my first suit fitting, but that wasn't really a new one. Um, oh, I went to Classic Mini Mart here in Palmerston North, and I tried some Fijian Indian sweets, and I made a video on it, and also I went and tried some Japanese food. And also, my one of my best friends, who my nickname for her is Lampshade, I was on the phone with her, and I went to Manu Mukbangs, and I tried like spam musubi, otai, and things like that. So I love trying new foods and new snacks.
Yeah. The last new experience I had is I weaved a collection of 3 whips, a cat of 9 tails, 18 tails, and 36 tails. Not that I haven't been interested in whips before, but I got asked and commissioned to do a set, so I decided to do 3, and I feel that they're quite good.
Nice. Okay. Well, Mahina, thank you so much for taking your time. I really appreciate it. Where can people find you? Let the people know what's going on.
Hmm. Okay, so when something goes bump in the night, it's me. When you look underneath your bed and it's a really dark corner, but there are 2 piercing eyes and maybe a third if you can see it spiritually, that's me. When you pull the door open and there's something behind the door, that's me. And when you think that you're sitting alone and nobody cares and you hear a giggle, that's me. Anyhow, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok under Ancient Threads. Mahina of Ancient Threads. Just stick it in there. It'll come up. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
No worries. Well, have a good rest of your day, and hopefully we'll be able to do this soon. Who knows? Maybe you can come to Palmerston North and we can do this in public.
I was just there. I should come down again.
Oh, then tell me. Right. But yes, 100% let me know and we'll make something happen.
Will do. Alrighty. Thank you.
No worries.
Ka kite.
I'll keep there.